So I've been building wrong in Paralives this entire time. When you start up a new game in Paralives, you have the option to live in the town of Molino, aka the default town of Paralives, or you can start a brand new simple empty terrain. This brings you to a completely empty world map. There's literally nothing here. It's completely flat, boring. You have to build the entire world map literally from the ground up. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I want to build a whimsical cottagecore world, including a variety of different themed neighborhoods with lots of colorful houses, shops, and more. But first, to do that, we need to do some setup. So here's a quick Paralives world building tutorial. You can do the world building entirely without mods. However, there are some mods out there that you can use to make this process so much easier and more interesting. So to download mods in Paralives, you have to go to the Paralives workshop in Steam. This is the first one I downloaded. This is the debug objects category, and this mod opens up all of the debug items that are available to players, but you can't normally see them in Paralives. The next one is the double simple empty terrain mod. These were both created by the modder Zerbu, and usually when you start building your map in Paralives, you're automatically given one lot size for the entire thing. The way it is not quite as big as I wanted it to be, so you can use this mod to double your building size. There are even bigger options to choose from, like you can triple the size, quadruple, you can even make it as big as Molino, like the default town. But for my first time, I think the double terrain will be enough. The next one is not really a mod. It's actually this tutorial which shows you how to make your own mod in Paralives. And trust me, it's super easy. I've never made a mod in my entire life, and I was able to follow this tutorial. But this mod allows you to go in and change your lot types. This is going to be super important when we're building commercial lots, because when you start your new world, you're only able to build residential lots without the mod. Obviously, you're gonna want your parent to do more than that, like go to restaurants, gyms, libraries, etc. And since I followed this mod, now later we're going to be able to do that. That mod was created by Mayakun Mods, and the final one I'm using today is a mod by Aro. It's the zoom out more mod, and it's self-explanatory. It's gonna allow my camera to zoom out so we can see the entire world. To download all of these mods, all you have to do is click subscribe, which I'm already subscribed to these ones, so I don't have to click that. And then when you do launch your game, I like to quickly go to the mods tab, and I like to just come in and make sure that all of the mods that I downloaded are turned on. And now we can go ahead and select new game, and we'll go simple empty terrain. And now we can start our brand new world. So here it is. It looks really sad at the moment. And you'll notice that over here we have this area with some borders. Right now, the game is recognizing that as the only lot we're able to build on, because that is the original vanilla world building size, like without the mod. We want to edit the entire world, so we need to cheat. We're gonna go Control-Shift-C to open up the cheat bar, and we need to type in toggle edit town. I love Paralives because all of their cheats come up in this cheat box, and that's great for me because I always forget what they are. So we've inputted that, and now that that cheat is enabled, we can come and use the hammer tool. We're gonna zoom in and delete all of these borders. They're really small and you have to be kind of precise, so I have to zoom all the way in and get rid of it. This is the last one, and that opened up the entire world, and now we're able to build wherever we want. We will have to put those borders back, and you have to have at least one lot before you exit and save your game. I learned this the hard way after testing all of this. You won't be able to enter the build mode unless you have one of those lot borders placed. I'll build my lots later. I'm not planning on exiting the game anytime soon, but now you know. You'll notice there are some ugly gray borders going around my world right now. This gray empty void, it looks so terrible. We're going to add some water around it. Since we downloaded that debug mod, you'll see we now have this catalog option, and this was not here before. In here, there are so many cute items available, like lots of extra paintings. This opens up mushrooms and crystals, which I'm planning on using later for landscaping. And a lot of the items in here will be great for commercial lots when we do build them, but we are able now to go in and search for water. And you'll find this item right here called town water. This is going to add water around our lot, and I don't want to just place it right here because I'm still able to see some of the gray borders out there. I don't want to see those at all. So I'm gonna place at least 2 of them here, and I'm placing them as far out as I can so that when we do zoom in, the water is way out there on the horizon. I want to see as little of that gray as possible. But now that we've placed the water, if you zoom in like this, you'll see that the water in the land are not level. The water is actually actually way below the land. So we need to click on the water and then open up this little menu down here, and we need to use the toggle advanced tool. Now, if I click on this green arrow, I can actually raise that up, and I'm gonna raise it up until it hits level with the land. We have to go and do the same thing for this one over here. So I'm just raising that up so it's level. So now we have water, but we have this really harsh edge leading into it, and we want that to look a little more realistic. This is where we're gonna start doing some terrain sculpting, and I'm gonna use the lower terrain tool. Since I brought the water level with the land, when I go in and use the terrain tool, this is how we're going to create the water. Later on, this is how we're going to be able to make rivers and lakes and stuff. So I'm just gonna be blending this all the way around the entire edges of the map so that it looks a little bit more natural. And this way our world is technically going to be an island. I'm also trying not to make this look super uniform. The land is never really in a straight line anyway, so like I'm bringing some parts in a little bit. I'm rounding off the edges of the corners. So now our edges are all blended nicely, but I don't want this entire world to be flat. That would be lame. So now we're gonna switch it up and use the elevate terrain tool. I'm gonna make this brush a little bit bigger, or we'll just, max it out. And I'm gonna start by raising some spots up to the height that I want them to be. I can really zoom in to get a better look at like the level of everything. And then once I'm happy with the height, I'm gonna go and use the flatten terrain tool. And I'm gonna position my mouse where I want the height to be. And then I'm just gonna flatten it along like this. We obviously need flat surfaces to build on, so you wanna make sure there's area where we can make houses and lots and things like that. Then I can go in and flatten some spots even lower. I also like to take this slider and bring it up. That's gonna make the terrain go a lot faster. So we can have another lower level right here. And we'll bring this out a little bit. I'm not really doing this with any rhyme or reason, to be honest, but when I do play with terrain, I usually like the higher parts to be in the back. And that's really just so that when you're looking at it, you can see everything leveled properly. Nothing's gonna be in the way. And then while I'm doing all of this, I can then go in again with my lower terrain tool and we can start bringing in some rivers. I think I'm just gonna follow some of the higher terrain. Maybe actually all of these can be different islands. And we could go in and build bridges connecting all of them. Wait, maybe since I said I wanted this to be a whimsical, cute little town, what if we had a heart-shaped island here in the center? Let's see if I can draw it out. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I have redrawn this like literally 10 times. Okay, there we go. I like that. We need something special to be on there. What is going to be on Heart Island? And also, what are we naming this world? I'm gonna need name suggestions in the comments. I'm debating if I should go in with one more river so every part is its own little island, but I don't want to take up too much building space. So, okay, I feel like this is a rough layout of what the terrain is going to be like. I think next what I want to do is start adding some terrain paint. I was going to trace around some of the edges and add dirt. I'm going to be going in with rocks anyway around here and like other landscaping, so I didn't want it to be fully green, but I feel like that's just going to make the water look muddy, and I don't really like how it looks along the edges of the land. But I do think something should be separating the water, so maybe I'll just go in with some of this like longer grass. This doesn't have to be perfect because I will be going in and covering it with rocks anyway. And for the rocks, I'm gonna go back to the debug menu and I'm gonna find these gems. I currently have no money somehow. My paradigms have evaporated. I hate when that happens. So again, we're opening up the cheat box and I'm gonna type in jackpot. That's gonna give us 50 paradigms, and I'm gonna do that a bunch of times. I think there's a different way. Ooh, set money, and I'll just set it so it's like a crazy amount. Perfect. Okay, now I'm gonna take these gems. They are tiny though. Like, look how small it is, and you can't resize these like you can with other objects, but there's always a way around a problem in Paralives. So we're gonna open up the toggle tool again, and I'm going to use these little boxed parts to make it bigger. It's going to be coming out of the land, so I'm gonna make these pretty big, and then I'm gonna add it here on the shore, so it's gonna look like it's coming out of the land. If I want it to be submerged even more, I can use the toggle tool to adjust again and like push it into the ground so it looks more like it's coming out of it. And then once I have that in there, it's nice because I can just copy it and I don't have to go in and resize it again. Another one that I think would look good is this quartz, so I'm gonna do the same thing, just making that a lot bigger and then just adding that in so it's part of the shoreline. I'm not just going to be using these crystals. There's other rocks that I can go in and add, and since they're not debug, I can just resize them normally normally, it's a lot easier. I can rotate them, but I probably still will use the toggle tool to like set them in a little bit more. Then I'm gonna be rotating the same rock piece. I really only have two big ones that I'm gonna work with, I think. And then as I go, I'm gonna be adding the crystals, just kind of like sticking out here and there too. You guys, there's a face on this rock. I've never noticed this before until I sized it up. Who is that? I hate that. I hate that so much. I need to rotate this. I need to set you upright. What the heck? Has anyone ever seen this before? It's this rock. Johnny's awesome rock. Who is Johnny? Do they all have faces? Not me like analyzing every single pebble in this game now. They all have names. They must be named after someone on the dev team, but Johnny got himself on a rock. We could make Mount Johnny. I can't keep that. It's creepy. I don't like it. Okay, so I have at least a good start on all of my rocks and crystals. Well, when I zoom out, it glitters. Love that. Okay, but I've placed them around randomly. It does look a little weird right now because there's no landscaping and there's no path. So I think I should start laying down some pathways. At some point, I am going to have to build bridges. So I'll have my pathways connecting right now where the bridges are going to go. So we'll have one right here. And I think I'll have my first pathway going along the edge of the cliff here. That's gonna lead right there. Then we can have another bridge leading over. I'm going to want all of my buildings facing the front. I don't want any of them facing the back. So all of my pathways are going to be along the edge down here. We can come over this way. This can be a bigger bridge. I don't know what's gonna be on this little island. Maybe like a lighthouse or something. I think I'm only gonna want one bridge leading over to the Heart Island. So maybe I can bring that down like this. We can have a little bridge right here, but then this is also going to keep connecting along this way like that. Maybe it can wrap around. This could be like a little square of shops over here or restaurants. They can just kind of be like going around. Maybe we could do a square in the center. And then I also wouldn't mind a beach area. So maybe we could make this area a little bit bigger and like flatten the terrain out a tiny bit more. And then we could have a spot where Para could come hang out at the beach. By the way, there is an option to go in and add actual roads, like real pieces like this. But since I'm building a cottagecore town, I want everything to be a dirt path. I'm also going to have to smooth out some of the spots where the terrain is higher. So this is the smooth terrain tool. I'm going to use it just on these spots here so that Para can go up and down without having to take the stairs. So just kind of like flattening this out. I am going to have to make a Para so they can test all of this. And since I've done so much work so far and I don't want to lose any of my progress, I'm going to add in one lot perimeter just in case something happens to my game. So this is a tool in Paralives. It's only available once you use that toggle edit town cheat. And whenever you go in and build anything, this is where you're going to be building it. Whether it's residential or a commercial lot, everything will have to be built within this lot perimeter. And of course, I'm making the weirdest shape ever for the first one. But now when we zoom out, we're going to see our first lot is available. I think I'm going to keep going this way and keep building my lots. So for this spot, I'm picturing little cottages. These lots aren't that big. I think we would just have a few little cottages here facing the water. I also really love how in Paralives, you don't have to make square or rectangle lots. Clearly, they can be whatever shape or size I want them to be, which is nice here because this is not a super organized world. I'm not doing like a grid-like structural pattern. I want this world to be super relaxed. That's why I didn't really want to go in with the actual roads. I think I'll leave this part here. I don't think I'm gonna make just like one tiny little cottage there. I could maybe do a park or like a little shop here or something, but now when we zoom out, we should have our 4 little residential spots there. And I love so much how the map sparkles when we zoom out. That was an unexpected mistake, honestly. I am going to go ahead and create a para to move into one of these lots. So it's just this button down here. We're gonna go create a para, and I want to dress them up in some kind of outfit that's going to work with this town. I have not been in the para maker in so long, and it feels like there is a lot of pressure on this para since they're the first one that lives here. Okay, wait, I like her. I just randomized a name, so this is Desime, but I'm gonna change her last name to something a little more whimsy. Ooh, okay, Okay, I looked it up. I found some good ones. We're gonna go Desime Lovejoy. They've got an overjoyed vibe. They're good at taking care of others. Their talent is art, and she's moving in. So we can see her over there. I'm gonna go ahead and just like pick the first lot, and she's going to purchase that for her own. So now this is going to be the Lovejoy household. Except where is she right now? Oh my gosh, she's trapped in the rocks. I'm gonna try and get her to go here and see. Uh-oh, that's not good. Why did she start there? I think I can unstuck and see if that works. I'm scared. Teleport to their lot. Okay, good. We're still in the water, but we're gonna get out of there, hopefully. Yes, okay, she walked up. She's saved. I basically just want to see if she's going to be able to get up here. So I'm gonna have her run everywhere so it's a little quicker. Poor girl. Oh wait, okay, she is able to go up this terrain. Perfect. I thought that was gonna be too steep, but not for this girl. This is a woman on a mission. Look at her just running there. She's so cute. Okay, I'm gonna save. Now, coming back in the build mode, I think I want this to be one really big lot back here. One or two, like this is where we're gonna have the big houses in this world. I think I could fit two. I think I'm gonna go ahead and connect this like that. And this up here could be a family. Maybe they have two houses up here. There's the one, and then I could build one right beside it. And they could have two matching mansions up here. They've got old money, and they're sort of overlooking the town. That'll be the two lots up top. Then over on this side, we could have two competing families. So this could be one giant lot that's also looking over the town, just like one big lot like that. And maybe they own something. Maybe we could have a small shop over here, or I don't know, some kind of smaller thing right there. Right now, all of these are going to be residential lots. This is what I was talking about earlier. But once we start building the commercial lots, I'll show you how to change it over. I'm trying to build a spot over on this side where the town square would be, and then I can just roughly go in and lay out where all the shops would be around the town square. I just realized the town center layout sort of looks like a big flower. So this is a quick map that I made up of the world so far. I separated each spot into different themed neighborhoods. So at the top we have Moonshade, which could maybe be a witchy area. Flower fields will have flower cottages. Lily Pond will be near the water. Mushroom Hollow will be above that. Enchanted Woods will be in the corner, and Berry Brook will be the heart neighborhood. You can see that purple represents parks, pink represents residential, and the blue represents the community lots. Next, we're gonna go in and start building some bridges. I have never done this in Paralives, so I'm assuming it's going to be a little bit of trial and error, and I'm going to line up the paths a little more perfectly in a second, but for now I'm building a room. The room is just connecting the two pieces of land, and then I'm hoping I can just go in and change this to a fence. There's an option down here for the fences. You can switch that over and that'll change a wall into the fence. So let's try some of these. I'm gonna change that over and then I'm gonna delete. Oh, no. Ooh, maybe what if we did the wall separator tool instead? I think that's what we're gonna have to do so we can add stairs or essentially allow Para to cross the bridge. I can still extend it if I need to. Okay, this is good. I can also raise it up, and I'm going to do that so that I can add stairs. I feel like that would look better. So for now, I'm just adding any stairs on there. I'm going to extend them over so they're on the edge of the bridge. Maybe I'll use these stairs instead so they do have a railing, even though it doesn't match perfectly. At least there's gonna be something there. We're gonna do the same thing on the other side. And before I test it, all I'm gonna do is change the flooring. I obviously want to make it look a little better than this, but now we're gonna go into live mode and I'm gonna see if our girl can cross the bridge. So at the moment, she can't. She can't cross over. What if we just left it flat? No, we can't do that either. Oh wait, okay, I got it. She's going. She's going across the bridge. I feel like it needs to be perfectly flat. I don't know if the stairs will work, but regardless, we finally have a working bridge and I'm happy about that. Let's see how much design I can get away with on this thing. Like I can paint these little edges. There are arches we could add. I think this is a debug item, but what if I put it down below? And I keep doing that so that we've got some legs for the bridge to stand on. I can really go in there and get precise to make sure they're all lined up. So I've got them lined up there on that side. I'm just gonna copy them and essentially do the exact same thing on the other side. This world building mode has completely like opened my eyes. Like I feel like I'm completely designing my own game right now. The fact that I thought there were unlimited options in the Paralives build mode before, like I didn't even know about this build mode. Like I feel like I'm like deep in this. Like I am a video game developer. I'm just kidding. But that's how it feels. There's so much freedom. Okay, wait a second. I also have the option to add trim. So that could be another way to add detail onto the bridge. Okay, cool. So this this could be bridge number 1. I'm gonna quickly just add some landscaping going around it. I have not added any trees or plants or anything around here yet, which is very unlike me. This is one of my favorite parts, so I'm gonna start adding some of this around. We're also gonna want little like bushes and flowers around the bridge. Some lighting would be nice here too, like maybe some outdoor street lights. Those are gonna go on both sides of the bridge. And then the bridge could have some little benches that you could sit at. We are also gonna have to think about public items like trash cans. And under the debug menu, these are the vandalizable objects. So when you're in gameplay, Para can interact with some of these things. So maybe I'll replace some of these stone benches with the benches that they can sit at and vandalize if they want to. I like also that I can copy and edit debug items. Like even though this is debug, I can go in and change the color of it if I want. I'm going around and adding different trees like outside of the lot perimeters that I have so far. I want a bunch of details, like I'm making this little rock garden going around some of the trees. Then I can fill this in with some plants. I have another one over here that I'm gonna go in and just add some cute plants to as well. And again, with these trees, I'm not really following like a pattern or anything. I am trying to use similar trees all the way around, but not the same ones every single time. Like I'm changing them up, but I'm using maybe 5 or 6 trees maximum. There are 3 other bridges that I have to build, and I want them to be similar, but not exactly the same. Ooh, wait, what if they were curved bridges? The curved feature is kind of weird in Paralives still, because you have to click where you want the angle to be before you can curve it. So I'm gonna go to about there, and then I'll close it off with just a regular wall. I'm not really sure if you can replace fencing though. Yeah, you can't do curved walls. Dang, that would have been cool. Doors and windows don't work yet either. This is still an early access feature, so that's okay. We're just going to get rid of all that, and we'll just do a straight across bridge. It's fine. We could do a wooden fence over here. I'll delete these walls again and go in with the separator tool. There we go. I'm gonna try raising this up one more time. I really want these stairs to work. Like, who knows, maybe there was some weird part of the terrain near the other stairs and that's why it didn't work. Let's try. I'm gonna get her across this bridge again. We're gonna run all the way over here. She's gonna be so tired. I'm gonna have to build her a house soon because like the girl has needs. We can't just be living in this world with the trees. Okay, let's see if I can get her to run across. Okay, this time it worked. It definitely must have been something weird with the terrain. Maybe it didn't line up perfectly before. I don't really know, but this bridge gets stairs. Well, now I wonder how tall we can make it. Let's see if she can cross this one. Okay, yeah, I don't know. Oh, she's gone. Wait, she just kind of teleports for a second. Let me see if she'll come over here, if we can see her again. Yeah, well, when she's on the bridge, she just disappears. But then when she makes it to the other side, she kind of comes back. I'm still taking that as a win. I wanted it to be this tall because now I can go in and out archways, and we can use this for our bridge instead. I don't even have to use the toggle tool for this. I'm just adding them on, bringing them over, and then pulling them down. So there's the one side. I guess technically you could have crossed on the bottom, but I did raise it up. Now I'm confused. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other side, just lowering that down. I'm also gonna go in and add one on the wall near the stairs, just so we get rid of that drywall. And can I delete that flooring? Yes. Now this bridge can have the stone benches. I also added some lights, and I'm just gonna make sure one more time she can cross, and she's going across invisible. Hey, it's a magical world, so it's a magical bridge. I'm attempting to do something similar for the bridge leading over to the Heart Island, except I'm trying to make this one look a little bit fancier. I wish I knew this trick for the first bridge that I did, so maybe I'll go back and fix it, but that is this bridge complete. Let's see if she can run over here and cross this one. Okay, she can. That's amazing. This one might be a little weird because we are connecting different heights. So the bridge is going to be coming across from a height that's higher than the lower part. And now I just need her to cross this one here, which this one I am kind of worried about. Oh, okay, this one works too, but she does disappear again. I'm gonna look into why that's happening. I'll see if I can play around with it, but as long as she can get from point A to point B, that's a good starting point. I am going to want to go in and build our first para, her cottage. We're going to do that in this video, but I'm gonna also just go in and finish off doing some of the plants, just anywhere that needs a little extra something. I'm using a lot of these hydrangea bushes. I think they're so pretty. I also like these succulent flowers. Also, instead of leaving the grass just flat, I'm going in some areas and just filling it in with some of this terrain paint. Like some areas will get longer grass. I also like using the flower terrain paint too. Okay, so a ton of landscaping has been added. I'm gonna stop there with adding all the plants, although I could probably keep going for days. We are now going to build one of the little cottages. My goal for this video will be to get a good start on the Flower Fields neighborhood. This will consist of all different flower themed lots, but for each cottage we'll spin this wheel based on different flower types and build the cottage based on what we land on. So spinning the first wheel for the first cottage, and we land on Wisteria, which is often seen hanging off of a pergola or a trellis. And that's gonna go right here on this lot. I wanna make sure we keep within the boundary. So maybe I'll turn off the toggle edit town, and that way we're just going to be within the Lovejoy household lot. I'm gonna bring my shell out like this, and I'm also doing this because I wanna make sure the lot sizes are big enough to build a house, and compared to a bed size, this is definitely gonna be big enough. I'm gonna raise these walls up a little bit, and then I'm also gonna go in and raise up the flooring, and I'm gonna move my lot back as far as I can. I wanna still have room for a front porch, so I'm gonna add some fencing at the front, and I'll raise that up so it's gonna be the same height as the interior. I can double check this by adding a door, so the door is level with the front porch, but if I go inside, I can see that this flooring doesn't meet up, so I'm going to just lower my porch by 1 tick, and that should be perfect. I'm using this as my front door, but I want to go in and change the color of it. I think I want this first cottage to be super pastel. I can't decide what kind of roofing I want on here. I'm first trying out this like barn style roofing, but maybe we could combine two. I could do this one and slope it so the angle is really high. We'll keep this barn style one in the back, and we're definitely changing the roof paint. I could change up some of the trim, so like the top part has that matching pink, and I'm changing it so that the trim is also pink. Along the bottom, I'm going to use this brick as our foundation paint. This is here because we raised up the flooring earlier. And then do we want the rest to be white brick like this? I feel like that looks cute. Before I get ahead of myself, I do need to add stairs. So I'm using the separator tool to eliminate that part of the fence. I do sometimes find it really hard to clip my stairs onto pretty much anything in this game. Sometimes I'll just go in and do it manually, like pull it across like this. And usually that works out just fine. I'm changing the stairs so it matches my trim, of course. I love the look of it hanging off of like trellises or off doorways. So I'm gonna try and make it myself. I'm gonna take this purple flower, I'm gonna size it up a little bit, and then I'm gonna open up the toggle tool. I'm gonna raise it up, and then using this blue circle, I'm gonna rotate it so the plants are going to be upside down. Now I should just be able to drag it and put it wherever I want, and it's gonna look like it's just hanging there, but we're not done yet. I'm doing the same thing with a similar plant, and I wanna make sure it doesn't go inside the house too. So I'm gonna pull it away from the wall a little bit, and I have this rose bush, which I'm gonna put on both sides of the door like that. I'm taking a third one and I'm raising it up so it's gonna be going over top of the door, and then I can more easily hide these little plants inside the rose bushes. Also, since I already made them upside down, I can just copy and paste them, which is really nice. And I'm just adding those going around the door all the way like this. It's already looking so pretty. I'm also going to add some right side up, so I'll just raise those up normally and stick a few of them coming out of the top. So that's how it looks. You could put that onto a pergola, which I might even do over to this side, and you can essentially just do the same thing, just like wrap this around, make it a little taller with the toggle tool, and essentially just repeat the same thing we did before. It actually looks even better up on this because you can really make it look like it's wrapping around properly. I'm gonna connect this pathway onto the actual town path, but I think I'll use some stepping stones leading over to the pergola area. I want to add in some wooden columns around, and I want them to match the same color as the pergola wood. So I copied the same color from the color wheel, and now they match. And I think I want to place a lot of columns around. I'm going to make sure they're going underneath the trim, and this is hopefully going to give it more of a cottagecore look. I want to raise up some roofing details. Hopefully it'll work. So I'm going to raise that in, I'll move it and adjust it around, and I'm just adjusting it so it's hopefully going to fit in the angle of the roof. I don't think I want that to be brown. I think I'm going to try and take that pink color. Okay, yeah, that looks cute. Now we need some windows. I'm going to try and raise this window up into the roofing, and I'll make it a little bit bigger. And then for the sides, I'm going to go in and add some windows with shutters. I was going to add this detail over to the roofing here too, but I don't know if I can get it that angle. Maybe. Yes, I can. I love this game. Look how much better that looks. Would definitely love a chimney. Maybe one that's a little bit bigger. I can raise it up like this. I can move it so it's kind of coming out of the corner. I just need to add some more plants around now. Maybe a little terrain paint under the pergola. We need some garden lights. And I do want to go in and add some flower boxes. I also changed my shutters to purple to match the wisteria. I feel like that might look a little bit better if we add a little more variety other than just the pink. And remember, the pair we're building this for loves art, so I'm gonna give her an easel outside. We can also just add a little bench here, along with some other outdoor cottagecore decor. Ooh, including the mushrooms. I forgot in debug, you can find all of the little mushrooms that randomly grow around. I'm definitely adding these here too. Also from debug, there's this little wheelbarrow display. And then on there, you can also place these debug flowers, which look so cute on it. Okay, so this is how the outside of our first ever cottage in this world turned out. And how adorable is it? I think this might be my favorite thing I've built in Paralives so far. I added more of the wisteria to the roofing with some vines coming down so it kind of like blended a little better. I also added one of the debug wells to the side. We've got some outdoor objects, the mushrooms, all the flowers. Look at it, it looks so cute being the first and only house in the neighborhood. But now we need to furnish the interior. And we have a lot of room to work with. I can make a wall here. That can be the living room when you walk in, and then maybe we can do a bedroom here in the back. Then this could be a bathroom, and this can be kitchen and dining. Obviously, we're gonna want to keep up with the cottagecore vibe going on the interior too. So I'm using some of these older doors. I want the flooring to be like some old hardwood flooring. And what if we really went for it with a purple living room? I want to use some of that debug art. Like all of this stuff, I've never even seen this before. I'm pretty sure you can get some of this stuff at like a market, or you can go shopping for some of it in live mode, but it is really nice art. Like how cute is that one? It's perfect. I'm gonna add some curtains around, which I've custom fit for the windows. I definitely want a nice cozy fireplace. We'll add a TV on there. We need a nice comfy couch. I want a big armchair there in the corner. Oh, and we need all of this stuff like the little mushroom lights. These are custom that I downloaded and they're so cute. There's also this custom one that I have too, which is also super pretty. Maybe I can put that on an end table, like this little custom heart one I have. Since this para is an artist, I feel like we need a lot of art in this room. I've got this ottoman in the corner. I want to add some pillows on it just to make like a cozy little spot. And I like this pink color I used for the mushroom lamp. I'm gonna actually use that as the same color for my pillows. I'm putting a mirror over here in the corner. I also need a rug coming in the front door. And I wonder if they'll ever add occult stuff in Paralives. I think at the moment it's probably at the bottom of their list. I know they have a ton of other things they want to add in the next couple of years, like cars, pets, and stuff like that. But you know what? One can dream. I love playing with occults in The Sims 4. I would love to see some occult stuff in Paralives. So I'm just adding a couple extra things here. I've got a desk. I can add a lamp here. And after finishing everything in the living room, this is how it turned out. I feel like it has just the right amount of coziness and clutter. I just added a couple books on the coffee table. There's a little open book on the table. I also added some canvases there. And then over to this side, we have the study area. We have a computer. There's a chair. I also added a bigger cabinet near the front door. And I'm actually really liking the purple in here. I'm gonna carry that into the bedroom. We'll use this lighter purple, like floral wallpaper. I need a nice cozy bed. We're gonna make it a double bed. I've got my end tables. I've got some lamps. I can't get over this floral wallpaper. It's so perfect and cute for in here. But I'm trying to think of another way we could put flowers over the bed. What if I tried to use this trellis? Maybe we can bring the bed forward, or actually, I'm gonna use the toggle tool to make it wider. So it's actually gonna go over top of the bed. Then we can go in and hang the wisteria from the trellis, like looking over the bed. So I'm just gonna go around and add a bunch of them along the trellis. We could even go in and add some fairy lights in there. And I'm going back and grabbing that pillow color we used. And I'm gonna change the sheets and pillow over to that color. I'm also gonna make a custom floral rug. We can put that underneath the bed. We can do an ottoman at the end. And then I also think these floral cottages need to have some of the flower pillows. And this one can be the purple color matching the wisteria. I added a mirror. I'm just going in and adding a picture in this corner. I wanted it to fit the wall a little bit more, so I just used the toggle tool to adjust it. I'm gonna add some flower baskets around, maybe an ottoman in the corner, an antique dresser here, and I'm definitely adding more fairy lights in this bedroom. I feel like they look really cute against the purple. There are going to be flowers everywhere in these cottages. We could add a seating area here in the bedroom, one of these antique lamps in the corner. I'm obsessed with those. I want those for my own house. I see those antique lamps like the Tiffany lamps on Marketplace all the time, but I've not yet committed to buy buying one, maybe one day. Since she only had the easel outside, I am just adding one in here for her too. I'm adding some paint clutter here. And okay, this is our Wisteria cottage bedroom. I love the pastel purple in here with the pink. I feel like that wallpaper is just so adorable. Plus the trellis going over top. These actually sway in live mode too, which is even more magical. And then over to that side, we just have a couple dressers. We've got the seating area and we have even more flowers. All we have to do now for this cottage is the kitchen. All right, and the bathroom, just kidding. Kitchen first, and I feel like I need to use this wallpaper. Although I don't think I should use it all the way around, so I'll put it on a few different walls. Maybe kitchen stuff can go along this wall. Like this is where I can put the counters. I'll add an oven here, and I think I'll have an island on this side. I'm adding some bar stools. We also need a sink. I'm adding these lights going over top of the island. Ooh, and maybe I can do 2 different heart shelves like this. I'm cluttering up the counters with plants and flowers, obviously. And then these shelves are really tiny. I'm just gonna try and add like little things in there. Oh, perfect. This little canister has flowers on it, just what we need. I'm also adding some of the hanging herbs. I think now all I really need is a trash can, so I'm just gonna put that beside the island. So far, this is our kitchen, but I do still need a dining area. I could probably fit that in the back here, or I could even put it right there. Oop, just kidding. This table's a lot bigger than I expected, so I'm gonna put it here. I can actually bring it in a little bit too to fit the space if I want to. I'll add some chairs. I'm gonna go in and just add some decor around the dining table. I just added that really cute custom mirror. We could also do a rug under that. Here I'm going to add a flower picture, just staying on theme. And then I think we could just maybe do some extra storage here, maybe a hutch. We can add little mugs and things in this cabinet. And then for the bathroom, I'm gonna surround the bathtub with all of the pretty flowers we used. I'm also gonna bring back the fairy lights on the wall, but then I'm thinking, okay, I know there's no window here, but why do I feel like it would look pretty to have a curtain on this wall? Or actually, even better, let me move over the door, and I'm gonna use the toggle tool to bring it off the wall, and then it can just be like separating the bathtub. So the idea would be you would just open those and then be able to get in. Now we just need a toilet and a vintage looking sink, and there we have a really cute bathroom fitting the theme with the flowers, the curtain you could pull across for the bathtub, also the little fairy lights in there, like that would just be so relaxing. We have the little dining table. I added the hutch and extra clutter, and I think that's us finished with our first cottage. Look how cute the color palette turned out in here. I'm obsessed. I'm really happy we started off with the flower idea. Okay, back to the flower wheel. Let's see what our theme is going to be next, and we're doing weeds. Okay, I feel like this is going to be really opposite to the pretty cutesy whimsical cottage that we just made. I'm gonna put it right next door. We can build it on this lot here, and under the landscaping there's an entire weeds category. They're like little dandelions. Honestly, they could be pretty cute going over the house. I'm picturing like a super overgrown house with like these weeds growing out of it on the rooftops and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna go in and create a new household. This is going to be the Weeds family. First name, Mary. What kind of hair does Mary have? I could see something like this. I could see Mary being a little alternative. I think I want to go a little more green with the hair. I'm changing up the face a little bit so she's a little different from the default. Ooh, let's go in with the liner. We'll do green eyeshadow, maybe like a black lip. I always forget that Paralives like layers the makeup so you can wear multiple at a time, and then my hair just end up looking crazy. I am gonna give her some tattoos. Definitely some jewelry, some piercings. I'm keeping the cardigan and the shirt she had on. I'm just changing up the color. I think the shorts and the cardigan should be brown. I did go in and change up the hair so that we could wear this hat, and I like the bangs underneath. Why is this me in 2022? All right, we've got the jester vibe. We're good at being alone, and our talent is food. Mary Weeds is moving in next to Desime, and now it's her turn for a cottage build. I'm gonna start by building the shell, and we don't have as much room on this lot as we did with the last one, but I think it's gonna be fine. These are smaller cottages in general than we're gonna be seeing in the other neighborhoods. I think I'm gonna build another little bump out over here. I am gonna keep all of these ones in this neighborhood as one story, because I think when they're all lined up, they're gonna look so cute and small. So I'm gonna start with the roofing here. We'll bring this back. I'm adding another gabled roof piece on this side, and I'm adding another one just so it looks a little more interesting at the front right there. Okay, but wait, I actually just found this glass roof piece in debug. When I placed it, it looked like this, but I've been adjusting it using the toggle tool, and that way I can actually just use this as a full piece of roofing. The only thing is it's not really a glass roof piece, so you can't see through it, but I kind of want to try and connect it onto this piece. The angle is going to have to be perfect so it doesn't look weird. I'm not going to bring it into the other roofing because I feel like it might look a little strange. So I'll just go like that and I'll connect another roof piece right here. I'm going to grab the color of that and I'm using it on the other roof pieces. And then what if I actually place this one here? I'm moving it in and then I'm trying to get it to cover this side part so it looks like a half gabled roof piece. And then it'll just be coming off the side like that. I think we need some wood paneling on this one. I'll still use stone on the bottom for the foundation. And you know what? Maybe some of these pieces can still just be all stone. Ooh, okay, I just moved over that glass piece that I made for my roofing and I was able to paint the flooring as grass. That way under there we're gonna have this little grass like roof part. And I'm hoping that now I'll be able to go in and fill this up with weeds. I'll size some of them up and then I'm hoping that I'll be able to just put the roofing over top. So we're gonna have this little like rooftop weed garden. Okay, so that's full there. Let me try and put this back on top. Amazing. And now we have a little rooftop garden. I don't think I even had to move these. I'm able to just put them in there. I think if I want to adjust the size of them, I'll have to do it outside, but otherwise I'm completely able to go in and add those under the glass roof piece I added. I want some kind of trim going around so that it makes the roofing look a little bit cleaner. Ooh, and I love that green color we use. So I'm gonna go in and steal that. I'll just copy it from the color wheel and then I'm gonna use that as the color for my columns. So I'm just adding those onto the corners of the house. I'm gonna add a fence here as well. This is where our stairs are gonna go. I just added a green chimney on the side there to match. I think I'll do doors and windows and then we can add all of the overgrown plants. Ooh, these are really cute shutters. I actually love the colors that it comes in, so I'm gonna add these. And then I want to keep some consistency, so I'm going to add some of these windows to match the other cottage. And I'm adding in some of these different windows here for a bit of variety. Okay, we've got our windows, we've got the door. I'm gonna first go around this whole thing with terrain paint. I'm starting with the dandelion terrain paint, which is actually so cute. I think now I can also start to like blend these together so like we can bring more of the flowers out, but then I'll mix it in with more of like the weeds. I'm adding some of the taller grass around the edges too. I need to connect the terrain paint using this brick. And now I'm gonna manually go in and size up all of these weeds. I want tons of them, literally surrounding the entire house. We can even have some growing over some of the paths here, like going around the edges so it doesn't look so clean. Nobody better come after my girl Mary for her overgrown weed garden, okay? We're letting it grow freely over here. Because this is gonna be so overgrown, I'm adding vines. Oh, and I can easily add these onto the roof. Okay, great. I could actually even rotate these so they look like they're actually growing on this side like this. That way the angle would look a little bit more natural. I'm adding flower boxes out on these windows. We need some lighting on this one. I also really like the glow of these outdoor lights. I can't wait to see this whole place lit up at night. Ooh, the mushrooms, we cannot forget about those here. Even though we're gonna have a whole mushroom neighborhood, I want to have them scattered around everywhere. So after everything, this is how the overgrown weeds cottage turned out. I feel like this entire series is just going to be me learning so many new things and like really pushing the game and testing its capabilities to its fullest. I mean, as full as you can be in early access, I guess. Also, how cute are these next to each other so far? Oh no. Okay, I didn't really anticipate this problem. I'm trying to come in on the interior and the roofing piece that I added is coming inside of my house. How do we change this? Maybe if I raise it up a tiny bit more. I'm confused about why this one isn't coming in the house. Like, why is this one coming in but the other one is fine? Maybe it'll work if I just keep it as a gabled roof piece. Okay, yeah, that's fine. And honestly, that looks better anyway. Okay, now I can come in and build the interior. We'll do a bathroom over to that side. I can probably just do a bedroom here in the back and then everything else can be open concept. I think I want to go a little darker in this one. I'm going to use some darker flooring. And why do I want to use some funky bathroom tile? I'm using the same doors in here that I used in the other cottage. And for wallpaper, I think I want to do something like this. That could be a bedroom one. Oh my gosh, it has grass ceiling paint. You know what? I'm going to leave it. This is open concept, so I'm going to do a kitchen over to this side. Green counters. I'm going to wrap this all the way over, but I will put an oven there in the middle. I think I want to add some upper cabinets, but above the fridge, I'll add some shelving. I don't really want to go in here with like a bunch of weeds on the interior of the house, so I'm going to just make it really, really planty. Maybe a little bit of like the alternative vibe. We'll add a bunch of hanging plants plants, as if we don't already in this game. And then for this one, the dining table can just go right here. I think I want to use some like yellow mid-century chairs. We can do a fun rug underneath. The grass ceiling, I can't. I'm gonna add other appliances in here too. Like we can do a microwave. I added a toaster, maybe a coffee maker, a little kitchen lamp, and like a few different boxes of cookies and cereal. You know what? I'm gonna kind of mess this one up a little bit. I'm gonna add lots of things out on the counter, bowls and plates. Oh my gosh, do we add the cheese? We're adding the cheese. And I think I'll add some books scattered on the dining table. Okay, I'm loving the vibe in this one so far. I think next we should spin around and do the living room. I might go for sort of a retro vibe in here. I haven't really done that yet in Paralives. Like a mid-century vibe. That actually used to be one of my favorite aesthetics to build in like 2022. Ooh, what about a chair like this except in green? It's really hard with the color wheel sometimes because you don't want it to look too vibrant, then it's just gonna look like unreal, if you know what I mean. I think that's good though, that's cute. I'm gonna turn that towards this way. This can be where we put the TV. I'll do like a console table right here. TV can go here on top. Ooh, for a scale, we could have a guitar. I think this wall decor would match above the TV. We need a fun lamp in here, maybe another cool rug. I feel like we need a couch in here, so I'm changing one of the chairs to this couch. And I would also love a record player, so I'm gonna add one of those right here. Okay, so this is how the living room and kitchen turned out. Very different vibe from the first one we did, but this seems so chill in here. This would be a great hangout spot. Since this para is a foodie, I'm glad we have so much food clutter and like different appliances. I am starting to work on the bedroom. I've added one weird debug picture in here. I need a bed, kind of loving the monotone in this bedroom minus the picture. I'll get the end tables. I'll add some lamps. I've added more hanging plants in here. I'll use these as my curtains. I'll add a mirror, and then I can do a big dresser over here on this side. I added a lamp. Now we just need a couple more plants, maybe a rug to pull it together, and I was kind of picturing an egg chair, although it might be a little big for in here. So what if we just did like a little yellow chair like this? You know what I can't stop doing, and it drives me crazy every time I do it? Holding shift when trying to place multiple items, because in The Sims 4 you have to do that so you can copy it more easily. You don't have to do that in this game. It'll just hang on to the item, but if you do hold shift, it kind of messes everything up, and I can't stop doing it. It's such muscle memory at this point. But this is how the Weed's bedroom ended up turning out. Super comfy looking bed. We've got kind of a weird picture going on, lots of plants. There's a little seating area over here, and then in here we've got our bathroom. We've got a double sink, a super funky flooring happening. We have a big shower, and I added a picture there above the towel. So two very different vibes so far. I'm kind of glad that it worked out that way. I'm probably gonna end up zooming out after every single build, but like look how cute they are. Also, since this area is called flower fields, I'm gonna go in and just add a bunch of like wild flowers scattered around. There's also like the flower terrain paint, so I can just make a little flower field over to this corner, just like adding in a different variety of flowers so that there's different heights to this little flower field and different colors going on in here too. This would make for the cutest picnic slash date spot. Maybe I will turn this into a tiny lot so I can add a picnic table in here, and then Para could come and visit. We could also have a barbecue. Oh, and we can add a bench looking over the water because I know Para do that all the time. Okay, perfect. So we have this little flower fields park over here. Maybe I'll add 2 picnic tables. I think I'll build one more flower cottage. I'm gonna build it over to this side on the right. In the middle, I eventually want to build a flower shop here because that just makes so much sense. Let's spin again and see what cottage we're doing next, and we're doing sunflower. Okay, so I made a really cute little family. This is Sunny Florence. She's super charismatic and she's a jack of all trades. This is her mom, Kara. She's also super charismatic. She's energetic, good at making friends, and she's into fitness. But then Okay, this is my first time attempting to make a male para in Paralives, and not my finest work. Listen, it took me like 10 years to be able to make a decent sim in The Sims 4. I'm gonna work on it. This is probably not his final look. I just like don't know where to go from here. Like, this man has serious pelvic tilt issues. Like, I don't know how really we can fix it. Oh my gosh. Okay, yeah, I'm not doing this. He's also gonna be energetic, good at making friends, and he's also gonna be a jack of all trades. I've also gone in and edited all of their relationships. So he and Kara are married. Sunny is the child. I was like, maybe if I just give him a random face. Nothing is working. Oh god, I can't undo. Oh no, oh no, oh no. My undo isn't working. What are these presets? Why does he look like he has a full contour? Oh, okay, I'm gonna randomize him. Okay, that guy's tall, like a sunflower. You know what? I kind of like the idea that he's wearing all black and like the rest of the family is in all yellow and bright. Okay, what's your name? What about Nelson with the U? Yeah, I like it. I think I will move them right next door. We can do the flower shop on the end. I want to see these 3 houses lined up together. I love how the family just keeps spawning like in the bushes. Okay, yeah, they're cute. I take everything Mina said back. So I kind of think this one needs a front porch. So I'm gonna bring it back like this with the idea that this part here can be a porch. Also, because we have a child in this one, we're gonna need 2 bedrooms. Are we gonna have to build a school and like a hospital? Because obviously the regular world in Paralives has those things, but technically the hospital and the school are rabbit hole destinations. I don't know, I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm curious about how that would work in gameplay. Maybe they would go to the town of Molino to like do all those things. I don't know. If anyone knows or has built their own world like this before, let me know what you did. Okay, so this is the roofing so far that I came up with. I love that we have the front porch. I might go in with some roof paint like this. I want to have yellow trim, but I don't want it to be too over the top. Like I really love how that first one we did had the matching pink trim. So, oh, you know what? This is a pretty nice yellow. I'm gonna grab this color and I'm changing the roofing to match that instead. Maybe for the bottom of this one, we can change it up so it's like this lattice instead. Or we could even try this stone. I'm going in and adding my stairs. I'm gonna keep the columns white to match the fence. So I have my columns on there. I'm gonna go in with some trim. I think I'm gonna add a back deck on this one too. These seem like outdoorsy people. So there's a back deck. And I want this house to have lots of light. So I'm gonna use these doors here with the windows. That can also work for the front door. And would it be weird if we brought green into this? I don't think so, especially with all of the greenery that's gonna be around. I think that's gonna turn out good. I'm just realizing I used the sun on the other house. I should have used that on this one. And now that we have all the basics, we can go in and add our sunflowers. These are gonna look so cute. I'm gonna make them really big, I think. Then we can add just like smaller ones around it. The rest of the landscaping can all be these yellow flowers, but the most obvious ones have to be the sunflowers. I actually think the little dandelions would look cute on this one too. So it's gonna make sense that some of these are carrying over from the other lot. We'll connect all the brick. I'm gonna go in and add lots of lighting around this one. Around the side, maybe we can have these different windows and I'll pull them across and make them bigger. We need window boxes here, of course. And then I want the front porch to be the cutest little spot. You could come out here and read a book. You could just come out here to chat, hang out, maybe listen to some music. I think I might put a speaker out here. That would be nice right here on this table. I'm also adding a lantern, and these hanging yellow plants would look really nice here too. This would be the kind of place with a welcome sign. I think it has to be a little brighter. I'll add it like that. And then in the back, I'm gonna add a bench. There could be a barbecue out here. This little green one's cool. Maybe you have an outdoor counter space here. There could even be like an outdoor sink. I'm filling the backyard up here with even more sunflowers. And for something to do outside, there is this sandbox. I think I might put that like right here. There's not really a whole lot for kids to do outside yet, so that might have to be one of our best bets. I'm also gonna add a bike as decor. I need a chimney here still, and I do fear I need to steal the sun from the weeds house. It just fits this one so much better. I also really like how the pink one had a path, so I'm gonna go and do one of those quickly, just like going around the back, and that's gonna lead into their backyard. Okay, so this is the third and final cottage we're gonna build for today. This is the sunflower cottage, looking so bright, so colorful. Now we have our neighborhood of flower houses lined up. I think my favorite still has to be that Wisteria one. That one is just like next level for me. All right, I think I'm going to end this here for today. We got a lot of progress done for the first video. The first little neighborhood is looking so cute so far. I might furnish the sunflower cottage off camera, or maybe I can do it together when we build the flower shop. But like, look at it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. I'm thinking in each video we can tackle a different neighborhood, so let me know which neighborhood you guys want me to build next. Let me know any ideas you have for this build series. And if you guys like the video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you don't miss the next part. As always, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.